Welcome back once again, everyone, to the pre-elimination tournament of the Old World, as we have round 2 of the Greenskins. Today we are going to be seeing Azhag the Slaughterer, who moved on from his victory against Azhag, the Great Green Prophet, in round 1, into our second round match between Azhag the Slaughterer and Grom the Paunch. Grom the Paunch, the rotund goblin king, astride his wolf-pulled chariot. There he is there, in all his glory? I don't know. He's a very large goblin, a particularly large goblin, and he's brought a particularly large force with him. This is one of the things with the Greenskins. They have a lot of units for a relatively small amount of cash. He's bringing his own snotling pump wagons, but these ones aren't flapping. These ones have got spiky rollers instead. Might be able to do a bit more damage with those. He's also bringing some goblin wolf riders as standard cavalry. Good, fast units. Some night goblin fanatics. Always useful to throw out those psychos. Orc boys in their very fetching blue and red colour scheme. A unit of goblins, a unit of orc Arab boys, some more goblins, a orc boar chariots, and a unit of goblin wolf chariots and night goblin fanatics again. And bringing up the back line, the elite of the elite, we've got the goblin big boss, this time without a spider, and a unit of the incredibly terrifying black orcs. Creations of the Chaos Dwarfs, escaped slaves, and some of the most deadly orcs on the battlefield. Over across and once again up the hill is Azhag the Slaughterer, who's going front line here. He is bringing more savage orcs, he's no fool, alongside a unit of orc biggins, some orc boys. 2 units of rock lobbers, the first use of artillery here by the orcs. Night goblin archers, some more savage orcs, orc biggins again, some boys, a squig herd, which has definitely done well for him in the previous battle. I'm sure he's looking to repeat that victory again, and also another unit of goblin wolf chariots. So we'll see how this goes as we kick off this fight. Now, Azhag shouldn't have to worry too much this time about range, because he's got the artillery. He can sit back comfortably on the top of this hill. You can see the savage orcs throwing insults at their opponents as they have to make their way up the hill. And this is entirely Grom the Paunch, and I have to say, Azhag's own fault for picking that particular starting point for the battle. They could have chosen a much more direct approach, using this side of the hill themselves to come up. They could have protected themselves from any incoming fire, or largely reduced it. But instead, they are going to, I guess, face the fury of the goblin rock lobbers here. 2 of them there, the rocks painted with all kinds of symbology there. Could be Gork, could be Mork, we're not sure. One of the 2 orc gods, possibly both, who knows. Loaded onto their ammunition. Looks like he's keeping the squigs back to defend his artillery, not a bad idea. There are a couple of fast movers, and it would be a very, very crushing loss at the early stage to lose this very valuable artillery. As we see now, Grom's force moving up in a very broad line. I'm not sure if this is a particularly smart idea of Grom's. He's not known for his intelligence, so he's definitely known for his cooking, actually. Grom is a particularly avid fan of cooking. He's got numerous recipes. He's rumoured to have brought out a book, though it's very difficult to find and even more difficult to understand. But I assume if you're a Greenskin, it all makes sense. But he's an accomplished chef, and he's very proud of what it is he's created. So just as much as the slaughter he likes to create on the battlefield, especially in the Bretonnian territory and beyond. But today, he's here to fight Azhag the Slaughterer, and he doesn't suffer any fools gladly as we start to move up. The wolf riders trying to get up the hill. We're not quite sure what's going on there. They seem to be navigating these rocks as if they're some kind of impenetrable barrier to their own progress, but they've finally managed to get round as they are making a move. And here come the rocks. The first salvo come in. Oh! Arab boys taking a hit. Oh, and more of them. Remember, they're going to be flinging 8 large stones at their opponents. And they're going to have a really good rate of fire. And if they stand still for any length of time, it is just going to keep raining destruction on top of them. This is exactly what I thought Grom was going to be facing. And these are a lot of losses to take early on, especially at a bigger hit to the morale in places. You just don't want to be hit by giant rocks, especially for Greenskins. They don't want to get hit by stones. They want to get up close. They want to start smashing people. Goblins, on the other hand, they prefer to shoot you from a distance. They don't want to get close. Grom there taking the brave position to go straight up front. He's not charging just yet. Probably a smart idea. Doesn't want to be the focus of all that fire, but there it is. He's going to have to rely on his fat to absorb some of those shots. A spell cast, and right on top of his Orc boys. Oh, the purple, I believe it's the purple ball of Xerius there, causing immense casualties to the Orc boys. That is not a good start at all. The magic is definitely working a lot better for Azhag this round. Grom slamming into the Orc biggins. And I'm not going to lie, it wasn't a particularly great charge on his part. Snotling pump wagon with spiky rollers going in on the left flank, trying to get around to that artillery. It's exactly what this squig herd is there for, to prevent this kind of flanking charge. However, over on the far flank, Goblin Wolf Riders are trying to go around, as are the Boar Chariots, who have also encountered some Savage Orcs. The battle's being met in the centre, but we've already got a unit of Goblins fleeing of Grom's forces. Meanwhile, the Night Goblin Fanatics do the smart thing as they release their own Whirling Dervish Fanatics right through the line. You can see the destruction there, all the dead Orcs in the middle of the battlefield. But Night Goblin Fanatics, they may be crazy, they may be high on shrooms, but they're not particularly great fighters in hand-to-hand combat. It's going to come down to, I think the Black Orcs are going to be the main mailed fist of Grom's forces here. They're going to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting. I think they're going to be trying to get most of the kills. The artillery is having to reposition, but they have still got shots as they rain some rocks down toward the Orc Araboys, who themselves are just launching rounds into the Night Goblin archers, so the skirmishing units they're fighting. And there's the war again as the Night Goblin Fanatics flee for their lives. Understandable. They were pretty much surrounded on all sides there. Way off in the distance we can see the Goblin Wolf Riders are chasing off one of the units there of Azhag. Looks like the Goblin Wolf Chariots. I think the Chariots have probably nullified the Goblin Wolf Riders entirely. This is a bit of a mistake there on Grom's part. He should have corrected their movement, got them to charge the back of the Rock Lobbers, which are, well, they're harassing the Orc Araboys, and when they can, they're throwing rocks into the centre line. The Snotling Pump Wagons, on the other hand, have managed to engage the artillery units, and they're doing some pretty good damage. Not sure if it's a little too late for this, as Grom is right in the middle. He is surrounded by so many Orcs, I'm not quite sure it's a smart decision for him tactically, as poor little wolves here at the front doing their best to try and get him out of this. But yeah, there's a lot of Orcs who get hit from all sides. You can see his health bar just dropping quite rapidly. So many Orcs hitting him at the same time. Meanwhile, the centre line, I'm not sure if it's so much stabilised, it's still a chaotic scrum. The Goblin Big Boss trying to get involved, stabbing his way through some Savage Orcs. Bit of a flanking attack as the Night Goblin Fanatics go in there, charging into the back. Azhag the Slaughterer though, right in the middle. He's in a rough state though actually. Azhag's lost a lot of hit points, but that's not surprising. He did decide to get in the face of the Black Orcs, and that's not a good look. Quite rightly, he's getting out of that fight. Meanwhile, Grom over in the corner, he's done the smart thing, he's backed out. There's a real chance here that Azhag the Slaughterer could actually get downed. He is starting to flee the field. Oh no, the Night Goblin Fanatics have released their crazy boys, and unfortunately, it did cause damage to the Savage Orcs, but it did also cut through some of the Black Orcs and the other units, and that's casualties they can ill afford at this point. Grom is also fleeing. I think Grom is at the point where he's not sticking around. And oh, Grom is dead. Grom died, and he looks it looks like he squished the Orc. Oh, you could just see his legs sticking out. It's like Wizard of Oz. Little feet sticking out from under him. He really went, didn't he? And that is going to be a huge morale hit for Grom's forces. It was on a knife edge which one of the two leaders was going to get down first. Azhag was definitely feeling the pressure, and if Grom hadn't been downed, I don't know, maybe the Black Orcs with their morale and their heavy hitting and heavy armour, they might have been able to cause a lot more casualties, held up the centre line a bit more, done a little bit more damage, and if they could have killed Azhag, that might have been a big morale hit for a lot of his forces as well. There's a good chance they would have started to flee, but as it is, I don't think Jeff has got long before he calls this one as well. because honestly, it doesn't look like there's much left of Grom's forces. With Grom out of the fight, there's not really any reason for these boys to stick around and keep fighting. I think it'll just be a case mainly of these chariots here just performing some harassment fire, getting the odd kill or two, but it's not really going to make a huge amount of difference in the long run. Some units may or may not rally, but it seems unlikely. Most of them look like they are just going to flee, leave the field. The only 2 units here that are actually... Nope, well, there goes the pump wagons. They've had it completely. They've left the fight. The Black Orcs did briefly rally, and they did charge, trying to get... maybe just trying to get a little measure of revenge there against Azhag, but a couple of them got killed by him in return. As Azhag he's desperately close to death there. But I would say that this one is pretty much done. We're just waiting on Jeff to call it, and there it is. Azhag the Slaughterer, the winner of the 2nd round. We've seen this happen before with the dwarves with Thorak Ironbrow. There's a good chance he could go through and win the entire thing, but there's just as much chance coming up in his penultimate round. We might be able to see who his foe is going to be, as I believe that's Grimgor Ironhide. He is going to be taking on... oh, my memory fails me here for the other Orc generals, but he's going to be facing the winner of Grimgor's round. And we'll see how that final looks. My money's going to be on Grimgor. He's a tough old fighter, but yeah, thank you everybody for joining today for the round 2 of the preliminations Greenskins of the Tournament of the Old World, and we will see you next time. Have a good one. Bye bye.